It's one of the most common things that people worry about. How do you stop worrying about money? I've got 3 easy steps for you today, and the last one is the most powerful. I promised you 3 steps. Step 1 is understanding worry. If we're going to stop worrying about money, let's understand worry first. What is it? I'm a psychologist. I deal with this all the time. Worry is the negative prediction of what is to be. Think about that for a minute. We are constantly imagining what is coming, and that doesn't exist yet because we haven't created it yet. Think about it. How are you doing next week? You don't know. You've got something to do with it. Please remember that. But you don't know. So the only place that exists right now is in your imagination. Can you imagine things getting worse for you? Yeah, I know. Just play along with me for a moment. You do it all the time anyway. When you imagine that things are going to get worse for you, how do you feel? Worried? Nervous? Anxious? Apprehensive? Yeah, we got a lot of words for it. It all boils down to what we're talking about here today. That is worry. That is the definition of anxiety. When we imagine, because we don't know, that what's coming is even worse than what we've already got. That is worry. Look at the flip side for a minute. Can you imagine things getting better for you? I know it'll feel a little foreign sometimes if you're used to imagining things getting worse. But if you imagine things getting better for you, how do you feel? Yeah, do you feel that? It feels different. Now, you don't know what's coming. My point here is you're taking a position about that. And if your position is that things are going to get worse, which you don't really know, you're imagining it, you're going to feel anxiety or worry. I think that's all you really need to know to understand worry. Now let's move to the next part. Understanding money. I brought a little money with me here today. And I've got a couple of different denominations. I have 1 US dollar. I have 5 euros. And I have 100,000 Vietnamese dong. I'm kind of proud of this one because this was my first 6-figure speaking engagement. I was paid 6 figures to speak at this particular event. Kind of cool, right? Now, you might not know exactly how much each of these are worth to you, which hopefully triggers some kind of thinking in your mind. Money is simply a symbol of something else. What is that something else? What do we use money for? We use it to trade for something of value, right? So the money is not the value. The thing that we're trading it for is what we value. Oh, that should get us thinking a little bit differently about money. Here's another way that I've found helpful to think about money. It's a receipt for value that's been created or promised. So if someone creates value for me, if you provide a service or a product to me, I might reach out in some denomination, it depends on where you live or what your interests are, but I will reach out to you and give you a receipt for the value that you provided for me. Now, what are you going to do with this? Well, you're going to take this and trade it. You're going to give it to somebody else for value that they created for you. Nobody wants to keep this. They want to trade it for what they really want. That's important. If you look at money as a receipt for value, that's going to help us with the solution to how we're going to stop worrying about money. It's a receipt for value that's been created or promised. The receipts flow from you when you're receiving value. So when value flows to you, receipts go out. When value flows from you to others, the receipts come in. Got it? That's important. Now it's time to pull all of this together. Understanding worry, that it's the negative prediction of what is to come, and understanding money, that it is simply receipts for value promised or created. We can put those two things together, and to stop worrying about money, all we have to do is shift our focus of our own mind from the money, from the receipts, to the value. Worrying about money is like worrying about a pile of receipts. The receipts really have no meaning separate from the value that they're connected to. A receipt for what? When we shift our focus from the receipts to the actual value, we don't have to worry about money coming up. What we do is we focus on what kind of value we can create for other people. The receipts will come. The receipts are simply a strategic side effect of the value that is created. And shifting our focus, shifting our paradigm over to the value allows us to stop worrying, making negative predictions about the future, because we can get really clear about creating more value for more people. And the worrying doesn't bring about value, does it? What if you use that same mind that you're imagining all these negative outcomes to start asking yourself, what value can I create for other people in my world? That, I believe, is the economic answer to any money problem. We're not hoarding receipts. We're providing value in bigger, more powerful ways to more people. And then you don't have to worry about money. You can tell I get excited about these topics. We've got other videos here to help you in the playlists here on the channel. You'll also want to queue up the next one. How can I solve my money problems? It'll just continue this conversation. It's right up there. Click through to that. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, you know, the simplest way to do that is to get a copy of my book, Pathological Positivity. I've got stories in here about how I stopped worrying about money, and you'll see how that relates to your own experience. I'll give it to you for free. You just pay for the shipping. Dr. Paul Jenkins, spelled with a DR. There's a link in the description. drpauljenkins.com. Click on the big orange button, and I'll send it to you. You just pay the shipping.
Let it go.